This video will look at how to manage Helpdesk SLAs. So the first thing we want to do is go to Helpdesk and Setup, and then at the top of the page we'll just click on the SLA drop down and select Search. On the right hand side there is a link to create a new SLA. We might just click into one of the existing ones to take a closer look at what's involved. So firstly we can see a list of ticket types, so you can select one or more ticket types, and whichever ones are selected, that's what this SLA will apply to. Down the page we've then got a list of priorities. So the priority is something that is selected when the ticket is created. So if a customer is creating the ticket themselves, they can choose their priority, so they may or may not be aware that there's different rules associated with their selection. So we can then set some billable settings, so we can say that this type of priority is billable, it has a fixed rate and or an hourly rate. And then we have the target response time, so this is how quickly somebody will acknowledge the ticket and respond to the customer. So during business hours we're saying 5 hours, which are business hours, and it doesn't include public holidays. And then after hours we're saying within 6 hours. And then the target resolution time is how quickly the ticket will be actioned and completed. So when we talk about business hours, there is a system-wide setting which by default is Monday to Friday 8:30 to 5 p.m. but if you do want to change that, we can change that. Alternatively, for an individual SLA's priority rule, we can override the normal business hours, so perhaps for the more urgent tickets we extend that for a couple of hours or something like that. So just to recap, we have different priorities which can be associated with an SLA, and each priority can have different billing rates and different response times and resolution times. So in addition to that, we can override an SLA for an individual company. So to do that, we'll go into the Helpdesk and then Setup, and then at the top of the page we'll click on Ticket Companies and just do a search. So if we pull up one of these companies here, we can see the details of the individual ticket types, so we can opt in and opt out customers to different ticket types, and we can either use the defaults, which if selected it will pull out the normal SLA. Otherwise we can untick that and select a different SLA. So with an SLA in place we can report on how frequently an SLA is or isn't met. We can set up triggers in the Helpdesk workflow to send email notifications to people. By default we have an email go off to the technician at 70% and 90% of the SLA to give the tech a bit of a warning. And then also on the ticket console, the color of the ticket will change as the time progresses, so we can see these ones in orange here. That's 3/4 of the way through the SLA, and we've got 31.8 hours remaining, and then everything in red is elapsed.